Hello, this is the news on NTA International. I am Olajide Bello. Our sign language interpreter is John Bamidele, and now the headlines. Activities marking Nigeria's independence kick off with Jumat prayers in Abuja. Vice President Kashim Shettima meets United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres at UN headquarters in New York as regional security, humanitarian relief, and Nigeria's role in international cooperation dominate discussion. Plus, Hurricane Helene makes landfall in Florida, United States. President Bola Tinubu was today among the congregation at the National Mosque Abuja for a special Juma prayer to commemorate Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary. Former Head of State General Abdulsalami Abubakar, Chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum, and Kwara State Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, National Assembly members and ministers were also in attendance. In the translation of the sermon, Imam Muhammad Kabir Adam acknowledged the diversity amongst Nigerians as designed by God. He harped on the necessity for good conduct amongst the citizens while urging Nigerians to remain united and work together towards actualization of a greater country. After the two standing salat, there was a special prayer for the continuous unity, peace and development of the country, as well as for God's guidance, strength and wisdom as President Bola Tinubu continues to lead the country. The freedom which independence and self-rule has brought to Nigeria is one grace that citizens should cherish and celebrate with thanksgiving to Allah for His benevolence and the country's journey thus far, while sharing a sense of collective vision and unity. The Chief Imam of National Mosque Abuja, Dr. Muhammad Kabir Adam, gave this encouragement in his sermon as the Muslim faithful observe special Jumat prayer to commemorate Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary in Abuja. Religious correspondent Abdullahi Ajia reports that President Bola Tinubu and former Head of State General Abdulsalami Abubakar joined other worshippers for the prayer.
It was another solemn moment for the Muslim faithful as the Abuja National Mosque hosted the special Jumat prayer for Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary. As a people of faith, the congregation submits to Allah with the Imam's admonition, focusing on introspection and unity of purpose in order to surmount all challenges in the country.
Let's all respect one another. Let's be united so that we can tackle the current challenges that the country is facing, economically, even the security-wise. With unity, definitely we will progress.
The cleric as well as other speakers emphasized support for leaders at all levels.
Mr. President has engaged with leadership around the world, and they have acknowledged the kind of reforms, the kind of efforts we are doing. Nigeria is the hope of Africa. And much as sometimes we feel angry that we could have done something faster than we have done them, but we are a great nation, we are a blessed nation, and we should celebrate our blessing.
Our leaders, for Allah to guide in our right. Political leaders, our religious leaders, all leaders at all levels will have that fear of Almighty God in us, and will do what is good for our country, for peace, security, and development.
The congregants invoked Allah's quick intervention in Nigeria's challenges and forgiveness for shortcomings. In Abuja, Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has met with United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres at the UN headquarters in New York, where they discussed issues relating to regional security, humanitarian relief, and Nigeria's role in international cooperation. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that the Vice President, who is representing President Tinubu at the ongoing 79th session of the UN General Assembly, was received at the UN building by the Deputy Secretary General, Amina Mohammed.
Vice President Kashim Shettima in the New York for the 79th UNGA, but it's an opportunity to also engage major global bodies for Nigeria's development. So, he is here meeting with the UN scribe, bringing to his attention Nigeria's plight in the flood and efforts by the federal and state governments. He particularly drew attention to the urgent need for assistance in addressing the recent damage suffered by residents of Borno State in northeast Nigeria. He also assured the UN scribe of Nigeria's commitment to regional stability, climate resilience, and international cooperation. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres empathized with Nigeria over the flood, pledging more support from the global body. In the meantime, Vice President Kashim Shettima engaged with the Commonwealth Secretary General Patricia Scotland, describing Commonwealth as a family that must be guarded jealously. Shettima assured Commonwealth of Nigeria's continued support. He confirmed Nigeria's attendance at the 2024 Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Samoa. Patricia Scotland expressed gratitude for Nigeria's support, which she credited for facilitating her success at the Commonwealth. In New York, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Florida's governor ran at a press conference warns that now is not the time to be going out as Hurricane Helene makes landfall in the U.S. state. Also, the U.S. National Hurricane Center says conditions are still life-threatening with storm surge warnings. Comfort Fashion has details.
Hurricane Helene, which made landfall in Florida as a Category 4 hurricane, has now awakened to a tropical storm as it moves more inland, according to U.S. National Hurricane Center. Though the agency says conditions are still life-threatening with storm surge warnings in place. The storm tore a destructive path through Florida into neighboring Georgia. The U.S. National Hurricane Center NHC said, warning residents to stay sheltered through the passage of these life-threatening conditions. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, during a press conference, also warns against flooded streets and closed bridges.
This is going to extend. I mean, you're going to have hurricane-force winds that are going to extend across a couple counties to the east and west of Taylor County, and that's going to cause trees to fall down. If you are in an area where you have that, please take precautions there. Treat it almost like a tornado as that's going by you.
The storm flooded homes and roads in Florida, where residents had been warned of unsurvivable storm surge. And 3 people had died from conditions caused by Helene as of early Friday, 1 in Florida and 2 in Georgia, the state's respective governors said. Hurricane Helene is the 5th hurricane of the 2024 Atlantic season, which continues until the end of November. And hurricanes are powerful storms which develop in warm tropical ocean waters. In other parts of the world, they are known as cyclones or typhoons, but collectively, the storms are referred to as tropical cyclones. And tropical cyclones are characterized by very high wind speeds, heavy rainfall, and storm surges, short-term rises to sea levels. This often causes widespread damage and flooding. Much hurricanes are rated Category 3 and above, meaning they reach at least 178 km per hour. Scientists say climate change likely plays a role in the rapid intensification of hurricanes because there is more energy in warmer oceans for them to feed on. Comfort, Fashion, NTA News.
Afghanistan's embassy in London closed on Friday after Taliban authorities cut ties with diplomatic missions set up by the previous government in Kabul and fired its United Kingdom staff. Comfort Fashion tells us more.
A notice hangs on the gate to the consular section and reads, "The Embassy of the Republic of Afghanistan is closed." Though this might not be a surprise, as the Afghan ambassador to the UK, Zalmay Rasool, announced on social media earlier this month that the embassy would close at the official request of the host country on September 27th. The UK Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, denied that it was behind the closure. A spokesperson said the decision was not made by the UK government. He said the state of Afghanistan decided to close the Afghan embassy in London and dismiss staff, adding that the UK will continue to support the people of Afghanistan and provide humanitarian assistance to those most in need. The FCDO has not indicated whether a new Afghan ambassador would be accredited in London. The UK does not recognize the Taliban government as legitimate and does not have formal diplomatic relations with the country. However, in line with the United States and the European Union, London acknowledges that there is no alternative to engaging pragmatically with the current administration of Afghanistan. The UK mission to Afghanistan is currently based in Doha. The Afghan embassy's consular section in London closed on September 20th, according to its website. And diplomats at the UK embassy have reportedly been advised to leave the UK or apply for political asylum. Comforts, Fashion, NTA News.
Thousands of Ethiopians gathered in the capital to celebrate an annual religious festival distinguished by the lighting of bonfires in accordance with the beliefs of the local Orthodox Christian faith. Moscow celebrants say this time around, the festival presents an opportunity to consider peace. Comfort Fashion reports.
National celebration of the festival, known as Meskel, traditionally takes place in a square by the same name in Addis Ababa. It is one of Ethiopia's most celebrated religious holidays, marked by rituals and merriment across the country. However, this year's festival comes at a difficult time for Ethiopians, Africa's second most populous country and one of the largest landlocked nations in the world. First, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's efforts to secure access to the sea via the semi-autonomous Somali region of Somaliland have angered authorities in Somalia, who see the move as an act of aggression. And at the same time, Ethiopia is at odds with Egypt over the large dam on the River Nile that authorities in Cairo say will diminish their share of much-needed Nile water. The disputes have raised tensions in the Horn of Africa in recent weeks. And Abiy has also flexed with Orthodox Christian Church, which criticized him for apparent excesses by government forces in the brutal war in the northern region of Tigray. Reports said the conflict ended with a peace deal in 2022. A new insurgency emerged again in 2023 when government troops tried to disarm local militia in the Amara region, which shares a border with Tigray. Some Meskel celebrants, however, said the festival presents an opportunity to embrace peace. A church deacon, Berhanu Admaz, said the importance of the celebration of Meskel to Ethiopians is to have them reflect on the ideals of peace. He expatiated that the celebration is to have them accept forgiveness and pray for peaceful coexistence as uniquely and beautifully defined to them by the hope that Meskel represents. According to the church's belief, the festival celebrates the cross upon which Jesus was crucified and its recovery by Saint Helena, mother of Emperor Constantine. The story says Saint Helena had a revelation in a dream instructing her to light a bonfire and follow the smoke to find the cross buried in Jerusalem. The festivities will continue with a national holiday, during which the faithful attend church services and share intimate moments with their families. comfort, fashion. NTA News.
And China says it will continue to lay a formidable foundation for the long-term stability of her comprehensive strategic partnership with Nigeria through an enhanced cultural exchange. And the new cultural counselor of the Chinese Embassy and director of the China Cultural Center in Nigeria, Yang Xinjing, disclosed this at the 2024 Chinese Mid-Autumn Festival in Abuja. Chukunonso Nwabueze reports.
Cultural exchange programs records have shown are among the most veritable channels through which Nigeria and China continue to strengthen their diplomatic relations. The 2024 Chinese Mid-Autumn Festival is no different as artists from different Chinese cities and their Nigerian counterparts showcase the unique cultural heritage of the two countries. For the new cultural counselor of the Chinese Embassy and the director of China Cultural Center in Nigeria, Yang Xinjing, leveraging the friendly relations between the countries through the partnership is top on his mission.
In order to highlight the beauty of the both China and Nigeria culture, achieved mutual learning between China and the Nigeria civilization. I hope that through such cultural exchange, we can continue enhance mutual understanding and friendship between the people of the two countries. Today we gather here with our Nigerian friend to share the cultural festival of Shaolin Gongfu, Henan Opera, and intangible cultural heritage performance. Together we aim to foster mutual understanding and promote the development of cultural exchange and share progress.
Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy, Patricia Ebiene, in a message, reaffirmed Nigerian government's unwavering commitment towards deepening ties with China.
By working together, we can create cultural exchange programs that attract tourists, thereby enriching our economic and providing sustainable cultural appreciation.
The 2024 Chinese Mid-Autumn Festival has a movement to remember as its theme. Chukunonso Nwabueze, NTN News.
You're watching the news on NTA International. More reports when we return. Ayo Adeoye, reappointed Executive Director News. Barrister Ibrahim Aliu, Executive Director Special Duties, Legal Practitioner. Malam Mohammed Mustafa, Executive Director Administration and Trading. Mrs. Akpeke Efyang, Executive Director of Finance, an expert in financial marketing with Treasury Management, Accounting and Reporting skills. Mrs. Tari Taylor, Executive Director Programs, an audiovisual creator, producer and showrunner. Mr. Sadiq Musa Omeza, Executive Director Engineering. Mrs. Oluwakemi Fashino, Executive Director Marketing, an integrated marketing communications professional and chartered marketer. The National Social Investment Program Agency has released the sum of 24.78 billion naira for the payment of 991,261 household beneficiaries across the 36 states and the FCT for the month of August and September. A statement by the National Coordinator, NSIPA, Badamasi Lawal says, in line with the renewed hope of President Bola Tinubu towards alleviating poverty and improve the livelihoods of poor and vulnerable Nigerians in August 2024, the agency released the sum of 3.825 billion naira for a total of 153,038 households who are beneficiaries of the renewed hope conditional cash transfer. While in the month of September, the sum of 20.955 billion naira was released for the payment of 25,000 naira to 838,223 household beneficiaries across the 36 states and the FCT through their financial service providers. Renewed hope conditional cash transfer under the National Cash Transfer Office is aimed at cushioning the economic shocks of the beneficiaries, who are mostly the poor and vulnerable households. Adding that the economic benefits include, but not limited to, immediate poverty reduction, improve household finances and savings ability of the beneficiaries. The number of cases instituted by litigants across the country have increased in recent times, a situation attributed to the newfound knowledge that they can obtain justice through the court system. With these increases in court dockets comes the attendant slowdown in court proceedings when judges write in longhand. But with the introduction of digitized or virtual RCT facilities in some courts, the burden of judges, lawyers and litigants have eased. The validation meeting on the national minimum standards to implement the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 therefore gave credence to the sentiment.
I will advise that those courts taking criminal cases should be automated. We start from there.
National minimum standards is all about three things: consistency, efficiency, and accountability.
The Abuja 2015 has already laid a solid foundation, and this national minimum standard document builds upon that foundation to ensure that we establish a more effective, accountable, and responsive criminal justice system.
The forum applauded the improved efficiency in utilizing provisions of the iconic law called Abuja 2015 to fast-track justice dispensation, while contentious practices like trial within trials expected to give way to more reformatory legal ideas. The immediate past head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Emieson, has been described as someone who has had a resounding public service career, a motivator who excelled in the discharge of her duties. These words were used to describe Emieson at a retirement dinner put together by the AIG Mokwede Foundation. Harman Jabani reports.
Dr. Folashade Emieson worked with two presidents, served as head of the Civil Service of the Federation from 2019 to August 13, 2024. She is believed to have exhibited transparency, accountability, dedication and commitment, a drive that makes her an exemplary public officer. The occasion provided an avenue to highlight some of the achievements recorded in the service under her stewardship, which has left indelible marks in the civil service, and this was led by the Omokodes.
As the head of the civil service, Dr. Emieson has been a beacon of integrity and innovation. Her leadership has been transformative, driving significant reforms that have enhanced the efficiency and effectiveness of government operations. Under her guidance, we have witnessed a renaissance within the civil service, with a renewed focus on transparency, accountability, and results-oriented performance.
We know that a lot of the progress that we have made is down to your support. Your tireless efforts, your unwavering commitment to the public service and national development has made it easy for us to achieve our objectives.
Head of the Civil Service of the Federation and other speakers commended Dr. Folashade Emieson for the introduction of the Federal Civil Service Strategic and Implementation Plan 2021 to 2025, which they are beneficiaries of. They call on civil servants to rededicate themselves to serve Nigeria for the greater good of all. The former head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Emieson, thanked Ike Omokode for the support and believing in her.
Mr. President means very well for the civil service and the country. And we must understand that the burden of leadership at any level is never a walkover.
Many who were in attendance at the event, Dr. Folashade Emieson will greatly be missed for her kind-heartedness and sunny disposition to the service of humanity. Hammans Jabani, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu extended his heartfelt condolence to Governor Moeno of Akwa Ibom State on the shocking passing of his beloved wife, Pastor Patience Moeno, on behalf of the federal government. The President commiserates with the Eno family, the government and people of Akwa Ibom State during this grim time. The President joins them in mourning the painful and profound loss of the state's First Lady, who has supported Governor Eno's administration. The President affirms that Patience Eno, as the wife to a visionary governor and an ordained gospel minister, embodied humility, resilience and loyalty. President Tinubu commits the grieving family, friends and relatives to the comfort of the eternal God, who is the source of life and holds the future of all creation in his hands. And now a quick look at the weather prospect for Saturday in Nigeria and major cities around the globe. Where we end the news, thanks for watching. Olajide Bello and Masai language interpreter has been John Bamdele.